皆さん、こんにちは。アルファアドバイザーズの坂下です。アルファアドバイザーズでは20代、30代、40代、50代の社会人の方から毎日非常にたくさんのキャリアに関するご相談をいただいております。転職とか MBA の留学、あとは海外大学院の留学とか、海外で就職したいというご相談も最近非常に多いです。最近の早期退職とかですね、やっぱりこの先のキャリアの見通しがちょっと心配だとかですね、さらに MBA に行ってキャリアアップしたいとかいう方も非常に多いです。で、20代後半っていう若手の方だけではなくて、30代、40代、ミドルキャリアの方もたくさん来てますので、ぜひキャリアのご相談はいつでもしていただければと思います。で、今日は、そんな中でもですね、オックスフォードの MBA、世界最高峰の MBA ですけれども、のアドミッションが、来てくださいました。で、学校の説明とかもしてくれます。本当にイギリスの MBA の中でもトップスクールですし、あとは、1+1 というプログラムがあってですね、MBA だけではなくて、もう一つコンピューターサイエンスとか他の大学院の学位も取れるよっていうプログラムもあって、やっぱり金融、どこの業界に行くにも MBA だけではなくてテクノロジーとかで、それ以外も合わせて学びたいという方にとっては、本当に最高のプログラムになってます。で、最近はイギリスに残ってそのまま働けるビザもできましたので、そのお話もアドミッションの方からしていただこうかなと思います。で、ぜひですね、オックスフォードの MBA 本当に素晴らしいプログラムなので、ご興味がある方は YouTube の説明欄に登録のリンクも置いておきますので、アドミッションの方にもおつなぎできますし、個別調整の方は特にですね、ご紹介もしてますので、ご興味がある方はいつでもご相談いただければと思いますし、今日からしばらくの間、登録フォームをオープンにしておきますので、今日のセッションを見ていただいてご興味がある方はぜひそちらにもご登録いただければと思います。はい。ということで、早速セッションに入っていきたいと思います。で、今日はオックスフォード MBA アドミッションのハンダさんとアルファ代表の入住さんも参加してくれてますので、一緒に進めていきたいと思います。So, thank you for your time today, ハンダさん。じゃあちょっと入住さんからまずイントロをいただこうと思います。
はい、なかなかね、イギリスに我々が行くことができない現状でありますので、アルファにですね、オックスフォードの MBA のアドミッションの方が来ていただいております。本当に貴重な時間、ライブで今お届けしておりますので、ライブで、ご質問がある方はですね、どんどん日本語でいいので、チャットのところに入れていただければ、後で我々が直接ご質問しますし、あとは、もうすでに結構ですね、人数の方、お申し込みいただいてるんですけれども、申し込みフォームっていうのがあって、これ、アルファルートで、オックスフォードの MBA のアドミッションにもうダイレクトにおつなぎいたしますので、オックスフォード MBA 行きたいっていう人はですね、ぜひ興味あるよということですし、これで別になんか合否が決まるわけでも逆にないんですけれども、アルファではもちろんレジュメとかエッセイとかレコメンデーションとか面接対策全部やってますし、オックスフォードの MBA も合格者、卒業生たくさんいますので、本当に素晴らしいプログラムですし、今日も内容をぜひ聞いていただいて、興味持ったという人はですね、ぜひアルファにすぐにご相談いただければと思います。アドミッションの方にもおつなぎできますし、今年まだまだこれからですね、出願、今年来年の出願とかですね、お考えいただいて、あとは1+1っていうね、プログラムもありますし、それこそコンピューターサイエンスとか、この前お話しした方は、オックスフォードのその MBA とそのリーガルで、それこそヘッジファンドとかで働きたいみたいな人もいましたし、本当にいろんな可能性が広がる素晴らしい学校で、しかも基本は1年なんで、1年で卒業できるというところもありますし、素晴らしい学校ですので、ぜひいろいろお話聞いていただいて、で、わからないところはどんどん質問いただければと思います。では、エミさん、お願いいたします。
では、so please start your presentation.
Wonderful. Thank you both very much for the introduction, and good evening, everybody from Oxford. My name is Hannah Griffiths. I'm one of the recruitment managers for the Oxford MBA, and it's a pleasure to have the opportunity to speak to you this evening and to present some information about the Saïd Business School, our one-year MBA program, and our two-year 1+1 MBA program. In the next 20 minutes, I will aim to give an overview of both programs, to give you a sense of the wider Oxford experience and what you can anticipate if you join us at the business school in relation to also becoming part of the wider university, and then also to talk a bit about the MBA program and of course the application process, which I'm sure some of you have interest in learning a little bit more about as well. And I'll look forward to hopefully answering as many of your questions as possible before the end of the session as well. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Saïd Business School, we are proud to be one of the academic departments of the world's #1 university, Oxford University, and the business school is very much embedded within the university. It plays a very big part in your MBA experience if you are to join us at Saïd. There are two programs that I'm going to speak about today. One is our one-year MBA program, and I'll talk a lot about that during the session, about the content of the program and the application process for that program. But I'll also speak briefly about our two-year program option at Oxford, which is the 1+1 program. The application process for the MBA component of that is the same as for the one-year MBA, so there's some overlap in the content, but did want to make you all aware, for any of you who are interested in taking 2 years away from your career or have the opportunity to have 2 years of sponsorship potentially from your company, that there is a 2-year option available at Oxford as well. So we'll start there with giving you a little bit of a sense of what the 1+1 MBA program is all about. So this gives you the opportunity to join us for 2 years in Oxford. For the first of those years, you will join a different academic department across the wider university, where you will complete a master's degree in a subject of your choice that will be selected from about 30 partner programs that are available to you. Those partner programs cover a really broad range of subject areas. We'll look at some of the departments that offer those on the next slide. And the idea of that first year is that you have the opportunity to do a deep dive into a subject area that is of real interest to you, or that you feel is of real importance in terms of the next steps that you would like to take in your career. Some of the more popular partner programs are things like the Masters in Public Policy, which is available at the Blavatnik School, but there's also a number of programs focused on data science and computer science available via the Oxford Internet Institute, and a number of different programs that have a humanities focus as well. So a real broad range, and something that should appeal to a lot of you depending on the career background you're coming from, but also the career that you're considering in the future. So in the first year, you will belong to that academic department and have the opportunity to really delve into the subject area of your choice. In the second year, you will then join us at the Saïd Business School, where you'll complete the one-year MBA program. The design of the 1+1 is to give you the opportunity in that second year to look at how you can apply the knowledge you have learned in year 1 in a practical way in your career moving forward. So taking that knowledge and looking at how you can put it to use in different sectors, different organizations as you move across your career. The 1+1 program is a more cost-effective option than a 2-year MBA program, which is important to highlight. And there's also an excellent scholarship opportunity attached to the 1+1 program as well, which is the Pershing Square Scholarship. The Pershing Square Scholarship offers you the opportunity to have your tuition fees covered for both years that you are on program in Oxford, and also provides a living allowance for both years that you're in Oxford as well, in addition to becoming a member of the Pershing Square Foundation and having access to their leadership program for the 2 years that you're in Oxford as well. So a really excellent scholarship opportunity that's worth exploring if you are considering an application for the 1+1 program. I mentioned previously the breadth of partner programs that are available, and there's lots more information about this available on our website. So if the 1+1 program is of interest to you, do go and take a look there. You'll find an extensive list of all of the partner programs that are currently on offer for the 1+1. I've listed some of the academic departments here that offer partner programs, and it does really give us the opportunity to have a really diverse range of individuals participating in the 1+1. So people who are coming from a broad range of career and sector backgrounds, who are potentially looking to either accelerate or to pivot into a different space after they have completed the 1+1 program. So with both the 1-year MBA program and the second year of the 1+1 program, this is where you will find yourself spending a lot of your time while you are with us in Oxford. So for those of you who aren't familiar, this is the Said Business School. It probably looks a little bit different to some of the images of Oxford that you may have seen previously, in that it is a much more modern building and very different in its architectural style than some of the traditional and historic Oxford colleges. As I mentioned at the beginning, we are very proud that the business school is embedded within the wider university, and I'll talk a little bit about how that adds to the MBA experience further on in the presentation. But the architectural design of the business school is important to highlight, as we very much see ourselves as a modern-facing and forward-thinking department of the university. The business school is very conveniently located, so it's located right beside the train station in Oxford and has excellent transport links to London. So for any of you who are keen in pursuing an MBA with a view to potentially remaining in the UK after the programme and gaining some international exposure and employment, there's very, very easy transport options to London for the year with us that you're at the Said Business School. The 1-year MBA program is a full 12-month program and will include everything that you would anticipate finding in a 2-year MBA. So as a result, it is a very, very intense year, and this is where you will spend a lot of your time as a result of that. So the business school is where you will come every day and spend your 9 to 5. So it's where you will have your lectures, it's where you will network with your cohort, it's where you will access our career development centre and the career support that is available to you. You can see in the top floor of the image here, the library at the business school. So this is where MBA students will spend a lot of their time for the 12 months that they are with us on the MBA. You will also be able to eat at the business school, attend designated speaker series here. And so it will essentially become your home away from home for the year that you are with us in Oxford. So I mentioned that the 1-year MBA program is a full 12-month program. It begins in mid-September every year and runs until mid-September the following year. And on this slide, I hope to give you an overview of what you can anticipate finding in the 1-year MBA program. It's divided across 4 academic semesters, which are very Oxfordian in how they are named, which you will see here on the slide. And as you move through the programme, you will have the opportunity to tailor and personalise your MBA experience the further into the Oxford MBA that you go. So the programme is designed to ensure that you cover the fundamentals of business in the early semesters, that you have the opportunity to collaborate and work with your peers on a number of projects, and then that you can tailor and personalise the programme to focus on the areas of business that you are keen to learn more about and build the skills that you feel you need to make the next steps in your career via the elective portion of the MBA and also via the options that are available to you in the 4th and final semester. So in the first semester, you will spend the majority of your time focusing on the core courses, which are highlighted in red here on the slide. Those are the fundamentals of business and are what you would anticipate covering on any MBA programme. As you move into the second semester, you will participate in the 2 mandatory projects that are part of the Oxford MBA. And we have a big focus on teamwork and collaboration on the Oxford programme, and both the Go-To project and the Entrepreneurship project will give you the opportunity to work in small but incredibly diverse teams during this section of the programme. For those of you who aren't familiar, GoTo stands for Global Opportunities and Threats Oxford, and is a project that is run in conjunction with the Scholl Centre for Social Entrepreneurship. It involves students tackling a global problem or issue and working with their teammates and a designated tutor to come up with business solutions to overcome this problem. Previous projects have focused on areas like climate change, the future of energy, big data, and the Scholl Centre will choose a different topic annually depending on what is going on globally and the issues that they feel are of importance for businesses to be coming up with solutions to as we move into the future. The Entrepreneurship Project is an incredibly popular component of the programme with any budding entrepreneurs who are pursuing the MBA. It again involves working in a small team, so about 4 or 5 students, where you will come up with an idea for a business, work together to create a business plan, and will culminate in you pitching that project and business idea to a panel of potential investors. We have a big focus on entrepreneurship on the Oxford MBA and have an entrepreneurship centre embedded within the business school. And a number of our alumni have gone on to launch ventures that were actually started when they did the entrepreneurship project on the MBA programme, which is incredibly exciting. So for anybody who is interested in pursuing an MBA with the view to potentially launching their own business out the other side, the entrepreneurship project is a really valuable test bed for pursuing that. For those of you who aren't interested in becoming entrepreneurs, it gives you the opportunity to build up a number of different soft skills and also bring your sector experience and knowledge to your entrepreneur team. As we move into the 3rd and 4th semesters, that's when we focus on the elective portion of the MBA. You will have the option to choose a minimum of 7 different electives. And as I said earlier, this is really your opportunity to tailor the programme. So to make sure that you are getting out of the MBA exactly what you feel you need in terms of filling any gaps in your knowledge and allowing you to develop any skills that you are keen to develop. There are over 40 different electives to choose from. You can choose a suite of electives that are all focused on one area. If you are interested, for example, in accelerating in a particular sector or pivoting into a particular sector, that's a really useful way to ensure that you are gaining as much knowledge about that space as possible. Other students opt to choose for a broader range, more of a breadth of different elective options to really broaden their horizons and give them the opportunity to focus on a number of different areas. There's also the option, as you can see at the bottom of the slide, to pursue some international electives at this point in the programme. We currently offer 3 on the Oxford MBA. One international elective which takes place in Africa and focuses on doing business in developing economies, a digital media focused elective which takes place in New York, and a fintech focused elective which takes place in London every year. So some opportunity for international travel for the year that you're with us in Oxford as well. As you move into the final semester on the Oxford MBA, you have 3 different options for what you can do. You can continue to study some electives. So for students who have maybe already secured a job role or are returning to their company, that's a very popular option, gives you the opportunity to embrace another 3 months in Oxford and really focus on the curriculum, faculty and research that we offer at the business school. For students who are interested in perhaps a career pivot, the internship for credit is a very popular option and something that you can do at this point in the programme. You will get support from our Career Development Centre and from our programme team in terms of securing an internship in an organisation which will give you the opportunity for some hands-on experience in advance of pursuing a role potentially in that space after the MBA. For any students who are keen to move into a consulting career after the MBA and who are looking to gain some practical hands-on experience, there's the opportunity to complete a strategic consulting project at this point in the programme as well. You'll see at the bottom of the slide that the curriculum is complemented by a number of co-curricular activities. Some of the more popular ones are listed here at the bottom of the slide, and again give you an opportunity to tailor the programme to make sure that you're focusing on the areas that you're really keen to build your skill set and knowledge. There's also a talent development programme that runs throughout the academic year. This is run by our Career Development Centre and is a series of soft skills workshops that you can dip in and out of if you feel that they will be of benefit for you before moving on to the next steps in your career. I also wanted to give you a sense of who you will anticipate finding at the Saïd Business School if you were to join our MBA cohort. Our current class has 355 students. This is the largest cohort that we have ever had at Saïd and is slightly bigger than what our cohort normally looks like. So on an average year, our class tends to be about 320 students in size. Our cohort is incredibly diverse, both from a nationality perspective, but also from a diversity of thought perspective. And you can see that on the slide here by the stats of 71 different nationalities being represented in our class and 18 different sectors being represented in our cohort as well. We're incredibly proud of the gender diversity that we've achieved on the Oxford MBA. Our current cohort is 44% female, and we have the highest number of women in our class that we have ever had at Saïd this year. We're of course not satisfied with this and are working very hard towards gender parity on the Oxford MBA with a view to having an MBA cohort that is a 50-50 split of men and women in the future. And there's a lot of initiatives at the business school and scholarship opportunities as well to help us support that initiative. I mentioned the international diversity previously, and this slide will give you a sense of where in the world our students are coming from. I'm sure that a lot of you are looking at the 36% representation from Asia and wondering what percentage of those potentially come from Japan. So I can say it's quite a small percentage representation currently. So about 3% of our current class come from Japan. It's a representation that we are very keen to grow. We absolutely value the insights, the cultural diversity that our Japanese students add to our class, and we would love to have that representation increase in the coming years. There are obviously other parts in the world where we would love to grow our representation as well. So Oceania, Latin America, and Middle East, all parts of the world where we would love to increase our representation moving forward. Diversity of thought is really important to us on the Oxford MBA as well. I've touched on the opportunities to collaborate via the team projects and the sense of community that we have at Saïd, and that's really benefits from the different sectors that are represented across our cohort. So about 45% of our class annually will come from the traditional MBA backgrounds of finance and consulting, but the other 55% of the class, as you can see on the slide here, come from a really broad range of sector backgrounds. We really feel that this lends itself well to the diversity that you'll find at Oxford and will really give you the opportunity to broaden your horizons, learn from the experiences of others, and to add value to the cohort yourself if you are somebody who's maybe coming from a less represented career background in terms of an MBA. We have a clear focus on impact at Oxford, which is why you'll see that 10% of our class tend to come from that sector background. But we also love to have applications from people who are coming from more niche backgrounds. You'll see that 1% of our cohort this year comes from a military background. We have had professional athletes on the programme, a professional ballet dancer on the programme, and in terms of applications are really interested in unique individual experiences and how they can lend themselves to the MBA cohort if they are to join us. Obviously, post-MBA outcomes are really important when considering a business school as well. For any of you who are keen to learn more about where the Oxford students end up after they complete the MBA, I would encourage you to go to our website where you can download our most recent employment report that's put together by our Career Development Centre annually. But hopefully this slide will give you a sense of where our students go geographically and where they go from an industry perspective as well once they have completed the programme. And one thing that is really important to flag, I mentioned in the beginning the location of the business school in relation to London. A lot of our students are very keen to remain in the UK for a couple of years after they have completed the MBA, and the introduction of a new 2-year graduate visa has really made that easier for students who are considering a UK-based MBA now. So this visa gives you the opportunity, once you have graduated from a UK-based university programme, to remain in the UK for 2 years and to secure employment during that time without needing to get sponsorship from a company. So you'll see on the slide here that usually about 43% of our students will remain in the UK or Europe after the MBA. We do anticipate that number increasing in the coming years now that students are able to access that visa opportunity and to remain in the UK, gain some international exposure, and potentially work in a particular sector that's booming here in the UK once they have completed the programme as well. I touched on the diversity of sectors that are represented in the class, and that's reflected here as well in terms of the industries that our students go on to work in after the MBA as well. So about 50% of our class will have roles that are in finance and consulting out the other side, but a really broad range of sectors that our students move into as well. We've seen a huge boom in the past few years of students moving into the tech space, which probably isn't surprising in light of the past couple of years. And our Career Development Centre is designed to support students who are keen to move into any sector after the MBA. So we have a dedicated Career Development Centre at the business school. It's divided into 3 sector-focused groups with a team that focus on finance careers, a team that focus on consulting careers, and then a team that focus on global industry careers, with individuals who are focused on impact-specific careers in all of those spaces on each of those teams. Our career development team will offer you 21 months of support if you complete the 1-year Oxford MBA. They will begin to liaise with you about 3 months before the programme begins and will continue to support you for 6 months after the programme is completed. So lots of opportunity to engage and to reap the benefits of their experience and their contacts in terms of your post-MBA career plans. So this image is probably something that you are more familiar with seeing when you think about Oxford, and is a representation of the more traditional and historic aspects of Oxford University. I mentioned in the beginning that the Saïd Business School is the academic department that you will become a member of if you join us on the Oxford MBA, but you will also have the opportunity to become a member of an Oxford college for the year that you are with us on the programme. This gives you the opportunity to access an additional network of people who are studying across different academic departments and studying a range of different subjects during the year that you're with us in Oxford. So for anybody who's keen to pursue an MBA because of the network that you will build, you have 2 opportunities. So the network you can gain at the business school via the MBA, but the network that you can gain via your Oxford college as well. The college also offers you the opportunity to participate in unique and traditional historic Oxford traditions. So you will be able to do things like attend dinners at their formal dinners at their traditional dining halls. You will be able to socialise with other students in the middle common room of the college buildings. You will be able to access all of the libraries that are across the wider university, some of those obviously being hundreds of years old. You will also have the opportunity to join sports teams, to join societies, clubs via your college as well. And they really add a unique layer in terms of an additional network, additional social opportunities for the year that you're with us in Oxford. Incredibly unique and not something that many other business schools will be able to offer you in terms of experience during the programme. So really important that we touch a bit on the application requirements for the Oxford MBA. Again, lots of useful information about this available on our website, but I'll talk through some of the more important components here. We require all of our applicants to have an undergraduate degree. There is no minimum score requirement for this, but we recommend or look for students who have the equivalent of a 2-1 or first class degree in the UK system, or a US GPA that is the equivalent of a 3.5. You have to have a minimum of 2-year full-time professional experience to apply for the Oxford MBA. The average for our cohort tends to be around 5 years. If you are somebody who is at the lower end of the scale in terms of professional experience, we are looking for things like leadership opportunities you've had in your career, good progression across your career, any international exposure that you may have had across your career to date. If you are at a more senior level in your career, so you have maybe 8, 9, 10 years experience, we very much welcome applications from you as well. You will have to look in your application to show the committee why you feel you need an MBA at this point in your career in order to be able to take the next steps. The GMAT or GRE is a mandatory component of the application, and it's not possible to have this requirement waived. Again, there's no minimum score that you have to achieve to apply, but we recommend targeting a GMAT score of around 650 for a competitive application. In GRE terms, that's a combined score of about 321. So you're looking for a score of 160 in the verbal and 161 in the quant. The median GMAT score for our cohort tends to be higher than this, so tends to be around 680 or 690, but there are a broader range of scores represented in the class than you might anticipate. So please don't let the GMAT or GRE be a barrier to application. We will review your application holistically, and if you have strengths in other areas, but a slightly lower GMAT or GRE score, you can still come through with a very strong application. You will provide 2 references as part of your application. These can be either academic or professional, or one of each. Best advice when it comes to choosing your referees is to choose 2 people who know you well and who can write about you with a good level of detail, who can explain what it's like to work with you, what they feel your skill sets are, and how they feel you could benefit from completing an MBA. You will also complete an online assessment as part of the MBA and write a 250-word supporting statement. These 2 components are your opportunity to give the committee a sense of who you are, why you're interested in pursuing an MBA, and how you will add value to the cohort. The online assessment involves video recording answers to 3 questions and also completing 1 written question. The first 2 questions will be motivation based, asking you why you want to pursue an MBA and in particular why Oxford, with the 3rd question being a more scenario based question. So giving you the opportunity to draw on your experience and share with the committee how you would deal with a potential situation across your career. There is also an English language proficiency requirement for any applicants who are applying from a non-English speaking country. There's a couple of ways that you can do this. So you can either provide an IELTS or a TOEFL score as part of your application. And again, the score requirements are available on our website. I would say with the English language proficiency, it's more important to target the overall score than to worry about the score requirements in the different skill sections. So for example, if you take the IELTS exam and you have an overall score of 7.5, but you have a lower score, for example, in the writing component or the speaking component, please don't let that be a barrier to applying once again. You will have the opportunity to demonstrate to the committee via your application through the online assessment where you'll provide evidence of your oral English and through interview that your English is at the right level. So most important to target the overall score than to worry too much about the individual score components. If you are somebody who uses English as the main medium of language in your professional life, you can apply for a professional language waiver when you apply for the MBA as well. And that will involve you just providing some details to the committee about how you use English day to day in your work life. If they are satisfied that that is the main language that you use to communicate, you may be exempt from providing an IELTS or TOEFL exam to support your application. And again, if you are unsure about that, you can reach out to our team and we can provide you with some specific guidance on what you might need to do in relation to that. We have 4 application stage deadlines on the Oxford MBA, and as you can see here on the slide, there are 2 remaining this year. So for any of you who are considering starting an MBA in September 2022, you can apply at our stage 3 or stage 4 deadlines. Our stage 3 deadline falls on the 12th of January this year, so still some time to get your application together in advance of that. That is our biggest application stage at Oxford. So it's when we get the majority of our applications through. There's still lots of good opportunities in relation to scholarship and funding at that point in the programme as well. If you are considering an application for the 1+1, you can still apply for the Pershing Square Scholarship if you target the 12th of January deadline as well. So I would recommend targeting that deadline if you are considering applying this year. The stage 4 deadline in March is a little bit more competitive. So we have made a large percentage of our place offers at that point in the process. And there's limited opportunities in relation to scholarships and funding at that point as well. If you are considering an MBA application further down the line, so perhaps in 2023 or 2024, my recommendation would always be targeting the earlier stage deadlines if that is at all possible for you. So if you can get your application submitted in time for stage 1 or stage 2, there are definite advantages in terms of being able to do that. So next steps for anybody who is interested in an application to Oxford in the future. For more information, please visit our website and you can download a brochure about the 1+1 or about the 1-year MBA program. There's also information, as I said, like our employment report that you can access there. Please reach out and connect with a member of our team. I am the recruitment manager who looks after candidates in Japan, and I have a team of 3. We would all be very happy to connect with you and answer any questions that you might have about the MBA process. Would also recommend connecting with any current students who are on the MBA. So as I mentioned, 3% of our current class comes from Japan. I'm sure they would be very happy to connect and share their insights, experiences with you. And we also have quite an active alumni network in Japan as well, who I know are very happy to share their insights and experience with potential candidates. We run a number of virtual events, including virtual open days, and the next of which will take place in February next year. So please keep an eye on our website if you would like to participate in one of those. And for those of you who are early stage considering an application, obviously starting with the GMAT or GRE preparation is a good place to begin. Thank you very much. So I hope that information was helpful, and I look forward to now answering any questions that people have sent through during the session.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ハンナさん。
Pleasure.
はい。それでは Q&A セッションに行く、ちょっと振り返りをした方がいいですかね。スライドの Q&A セッションに先に行きましょうか。
Q&A でいいんじゃないですか。
はい。じゃあ結構ご質問が来てますので、お答えしていきたいと思います。So we will move on to the Q&A session from audience. There are lots of questions, so 最初のご質問からお答えしていきます。ご質問まだある方はどんどん入れていただいてお答えしていきますので、よろしくお願いします。はい。お話しいただきありがとうございます。9月に入学し、8月に卒業と理解しましたが、サマーインターンの参加は実施可能でしょうか？ MBA の生徒の方はどのタイミングでインターンされていますでしょうかということですね。So, the first question is about internship. So, how do students get their opportunity for internship? Because for the full-time 2 years MBA, the student would their opportunity for internship maybe during the summer vacation. So, how do students get their opportunity for internship?
Really good question, thank you. So in the 4th semester on the Oxford MBA, completing an internship is an option at that point in the program. And I guess the potential to do an internship is really important for students who are looking to do the MBA because they want to make a pivot in their career and they're looking to gain some exposure to a particular organization, particular industry. So even on a 1-year program, it is vital that we provide students with that opportunity. So you can definitely do it in the summer semester on the Oxford MBA, so the final semester before you complete the program. You will be supported in terms of securing that MBA or that internship by our program team and also by our Career Development Centre. So as you are going through the academic year, if you have identified some companies that you feel it would be valuable for you to do an internship at, you can begin conversations with our Career Development Centre about that early on in the MBA programme. They will then begin to reach out to those organizations, connect you with people within those organizations. Hopefully it would be somewhere that the school already has a connection with, but if not, they will leverage the school's alumni network to try to ensure that students have the opportunity to gain an internship in an organization that they are keen to do. If it is an internship for credit, which is what a lot of our students will do, our program team will then make sure that the internship meets the requirement in order for it to complete complete that component of the program. So support available from both of those teams. It is a popular option with students at Oxford. So normally I would say probably about 30% of the cohort will opt to do an internship in that final semester that they're with us.
Okay, great. Thank you.
すごいね。
すごいですね。基本的には1年間のプログラムなんですけれども、インターンシップは学校としても非常にスチューデント、生徒の方たちがキャリアをピボットするのに大事だと思っているので、非常に大事にしていると。で、その時期としては多くの方がファイナル、30% ぐらいの方がファイナルピリオド、その最後の学期にやるそうなんですけれども、本当にすごいのは、生徒の方が、じゃあこのキャリアを歩みたいからここでインターンするのがいいっていうベストなインターン先があったら、学校のあらゆるネットワークを使って紹介してくれるそうです。ので、あとは授業の方もそれできちんとリクワイアメントが満たせるように、アカデミックな方とキャリアデベロップメントセンターかな、キャリアの方のサポートと両方受けられるということで、すごい素晴らしいですね。
必要あれば、アラムナイネットワーク、オックスフォードのアラムナイネットワークをすごい全部探ってくれるっていう、多分すごいキャリアサポートが熱いんでしょうね。
そうですね。日本人の方が、在校生の方が出している、そのオックスフォードの非公式ですけれども、日本人の方の、日本人在校生のページをちょっと最近拝見してたんですけど、やっぱり本当に皆さんトップのコンサルファームとか外資金融は、もちろんのことといえばあれですけど、あと IFC とか入ってる方もいましたし、多分すごいオポチュニティ、あと Google とかですね、すごい機会が得られると思いますよね。日本人だけでもね、そういった就職先に皆さん行かれてるので。はい。ということで、夏休みっていうのは特にそこにインターンっていうわけではないんですけれども、十分に1年の中でありますよということですね。はい。次のご質問ですね。企業にも力を入れられていると伺いましたが、具体的にどのようなサポート、事業がありますでしょうか。So the next question is about entrepreneurship. So your school has focused on entrepreneurship, and could you let us know, for example, some support for entrepreneur and some classes related to entrepreneurship?
Yes, absolutely. So we have a dedicated entrepreneurship center that is embedded within the business school. All of the students on the MBA will work with the Entrepreneurship Centre on the Entrepreneurship Project, which is one of the mandatory projects that you'll complete on the programme. There are also a number of elective options that have a specific focus on entrepreneurship. And for example, there is an entrepreneurial finance elective that is really popular with students who are keen to pursue an entrepreneurial career out the other side. And then there's a number of different labs and competitions that the Entrepreneurship Centre will run throughout the academic year that students can engage with if they are interested in entrepreneurship. So those include things like an ideation lab. There's a venture lab that the Entrepreneurship Centre run. They also have an excellent mentoring system called the O Network, where they will connect prospective entrepreneurs with more senior and experienced entrepreneurs and set up networking mentorship conversations with those students as well. There's also a lot of support available for students who are interested in social entrepreneurship. So the Scholl Centre for Social Entrepreneurship also works very closely with students at the business school via the Go-To project, but also via some co-curricular options like the Impact Lab and a competition called Map the System that they'll run annually as well.
Thank you. はい。ということで、アントレは本当に力を入れていらっしゃるということで、まずはアントレ1つ目は、その事業っていう、大体そうですね、3つおっしゃっていて、1つで言うと、そのアントレプレナーシップのプロジェクトっていうのがあって、皆さん、そのマンダトリーで必須で参加されるというのが1つと、あとはその2つ目としては、それは特にアントレセンターっていうところで、やるらしいんですけれども、それが1つ目と、あとは事業で言うと、アントレプレナリアルファイナンスとか、 アントリーに必要なものがすべて揃うようなエレクティブとかが、ね、結構あるということですね。であとはその他、ラボとかコンペティションとか、そういうのが1年間の中でも何回も行われているし、あとメンターの方も本当に今実際に活躍されている起業家の方がメンターについてくれたりとか、あと卒業生とかもサポートしてくれたりするということで、この全員参加必須っていうのはなかなかすごいと思うんですけどね、いすみさん、あんまりその全員、ハルトさんとか結構起業のなんかプロジェクトやったりしてますけど、起業ってかあれはコンサルとかかな。
オックスフォードはやはり起業が非常に前から有名で、もちろんその目先はね、そのコンサルとかファイナンスとか行くんでしょうけども、将来的には起業家になるっていう、そこのネットワークとか教育もすごくあるんで、そこは結構大きなそのケンブリッジとの違いかなって気がしますけどね。
なるほど。ということです。はい。では、ちょっと次のご質問に行きたいと思います。はい、インターナショナルスチューデントが多いということですが、そこから卒業後にイギリスで働く人は何%くらいいるのか、その場合の典型的なキャリアプロセスはどういったものになりますでしょうか。在学中にオファーが取れるのでしょうか。あとは学校で面接できるんでしょうかということですね。はい。では、the next question is about job hunting.So your school have a very good many diversity, and there is a lot of international student. So what percentage of the international student get their job in UK after their graduation? This is a first question.
Good question. So it will vary annually. So I think on the slide there, you saw the percentage that about 50% of the class will stay in the UK or Europe out the other side of the MBA. Percentage of those that stay in the UK, I would imagine, is at least half of that. So about 25% currently. But we do anticipate that figure rising now with the introduction of the 2-year post-study work visa. So I would anticipate in the coming years that percentage will increase.
Thank you. なので、全体で言うと 50% なので、正確にはちょっと出してはないんですけれども、大体そのうちの半分ぐらい。なので、インターナショナルスチューデント全体の 25% ぐらいはイギリスの現地で就職してるんじゃないかと。ただ、今ちょこっと出てきた2 years ポストグラデュエートビザっていうのができたので、オックスフォードとか、イギリスの大学院を卒業してから2年間イギリスで働けるというアメリカのステムみたいなビザができたので、これから増えていくんじゃないかなという話をされてましたね。
イギリスとかヨーロッパに卒業後いる人たちは 50% って言ってますね。
そうですね、全体の 50%。
全体のね。
結構多い。
多分ワークビザができたんで、多分それ狙いで相当多分コンペティティブになるとは思うので、早めに受けられた方がいいと思いますね。
そうですね。世界的に人気が。
アルファでもすごい多くの人がやっぱりイギリスでのワークビザ取れるんだったらということで、かなりオックスフォードとかケンブリッジ狙いの人増えてきてますので、ね。
そうですね。
それは世界的にはそういう動きになるでしょうね。
はい。はい、では次のご質問ですね。はい。ありがとうございます。H2 のコアで気候変動などを学べるとのこと、SDG× ビジネスで非常に興味を持ちました。オックスフォード1+1か、MBA かどちらかを取ってから国連に行って、その後企業の SDG ポジションのトップを目指す場合、1+1 プログラムではどのようなオプションがございますでしょうか。卒業生で SDG 関連の道に進まれた方の例も、ご教示いただけますと幸いですということですね。So the next question is about the career opportunity. She or he is interested in SDGs and very interested in Oxford MBA program or 1+1 program. So what is the best program for she or her or him wants to go United
Nations.
United Nation after graduation and then move on to SDG position in company. What is the best 1+1 program option for he?
Really good question. So it's difficult to answer without knowing the individual profile because it will obviously depend on their work experience to date and how many skills they have already developed, the knowledge they already have that would help them to secure a role in the UN or an SDG out the other side of the MBA. The most popular partner program for students who are looking to pursue those kind of roles is usually the Masters in Public Policy. So the MPP that you can do at the Blavatnik School here in Oxford. That tends to be the most popular option, but again, that would depend on the individual profile in advance of an application. But I would recommend taking a look at that partner program as a good option for somebody looking to pursue that sort of career.
これなんか一旦エミさん1+1のページいけるの？
そうですね。ちょっと1+1のページを見てみましょうかね。オックスフォードの、今のご回答としては個別のキャリアによって、やっぱりいろいろなオプションがあるので、一概には言えないんですけれども、1+1で MBA 以外に、ご自分のベストなプログラムを選ばれるといいんじゃないかということでしたので、ちょっとこちらを見ていきたいと思いますね。これかな？こちらですかね。So, I will share my screen for the audience to introduce some program of 1+1。これの、こちらに、パートナーにコース、ここにありますね。
Thank you, Emmy. There are loads of different options available. So yeah, definitely worth taking a look on the website to see the range of partner programs that are available. But they do allow students to develop a level of knowledge of a huge number of different subject areas before coming to do the MBA in their second year.
なので、すごいこれだけのプログラムがあるので、ここから選択をして1年間いけるということですね。泉さん、実際に結構皆さん、よく日本人の方で行かれているプログラムとかありますか？
日本人の人はあんまり今までオックスフォードで1+1取ってる人そんなにいないんで、僕は結構前からいいんじゃないっていう話はしてたんですけど、最近増えてきましたね、アルファで。コンピューターサイエンスとか、パブリックポリシーとか、あとそれこそデータサイエンスとか、あとはそれこそさっき言ったリーガル&ファイナンスみたいなのがあって、その方はもともと結構法務関係というか、コンプライアンス関係やられてる方でね。MBA とそのリーガルとかっていうのを2個1で取って、そのままヘッジファンドのフロント行ってもいいし、コンプライアンス行ってもいいし、で、コンプライアンス行くともうそのままヘッジファンドコンプライアンスでもう3000万もらえるでみたいな話したら、それいいですねみたいな話になって、そこを目指してる人とかいますよね。だからこの SDG とかも結構ふわっとした概念なんで、国連のどのポジションに行きたいのかとかですね、企業のどこのポジションに行きたいのかとか、それによってだいぶ変わるので、もしかしたら MBA いらないかもしれないし、パブリックポリシーだけの方がいいかもしれないし、MBA 行くんだったら結構ビジネス寄りになるんで、そこはちょっと我々含めてご相談いただいた方がいいかもしれないですね。そのキャリアの方向性という意味で。はい。
なるほど。はい。ありがとうございます。じゃあちょっとスライドに戻りますね。So, Hannah-san, could you share your slides again? Thank you. では、次のご質問に行きたいと思います。はい。アプライのタイミングでテストの点数が必要ですが、レジュメやエッセイを出した後にアプリケーションデッドラインの後に、点数提出でもいいですかということですね。これは結構アルファで 受けている方はよくやっている手法かなと思いますけれども、ちょっと聞いていきたいと思いますね。So, is it mandatory for applicant to compile their all the materials for application? For example, is it possible for applicant to submit their test score, so IELTS, TOEFL, or GMAT after the deadline? Of course, they already submit their some resume, essay, recommendation.
Yeah, really good question. So the answer is no. So for an application for the Oxford MBA, students have to submit all of their test scores at the point that they submit their application. Failure to do so will mean that your application can't be processed by our team, and essentially then you won't move any further in the process. It is possible to submit updated test scores after you have submit your application. So if you apply with a GMAT, GRE, IELTS, TOEFL score, and then in the few weeks after you have applied, you take those tests again and your score improves, you can reach out to the team and ask them to consider your new score, but have to have an original score when submitting your application.
Okay, great. Thank you. なので、アプリケーションの段階で全部出さなきゃいけないんですけれども、もしその後にテストを受けて、そのテストのスコアがアップした場合には、それを出したら、それを考慮してくれるということで、それは嬉しいですよね。はい。
GRE と IELTS でいけるんで。
そうですね。あと、IELTS については、そのオーバーオールスコアが結構大事っておっしゃってたので、例えばその、IELTS の場合、リーディングとリスニングとライティングとスピーキングありますけど、そのすべてでオーバーオールのスコアが出るので、例えばライティングがちょっとダメだったとか、スピーキングとか日本人の方苦手だったりしますけど、そういうところが少し低くても、他のリーディングとかで点数を取ったりしている場合もありますし、そのオーバーオールで見てるということなので、はい、ぜひ、アルファでね、皆さん IELTS とかも3ヶ月ぐらいでかなり大幅にスコアアップされているので、ぜひ、ご相談いただければと思いますね。はい。で、次のクエスチョンですね。生徒はどこに住んでいるのでしょうか？ MBA の量があるのでしょうか？コストはどのぐらいですかということですね。はい、ありがとうございます。So, the next question is about their life in Oxford. So, is there some dormitory for student, or where do students live in?
Yes, really good question. So it will depend on individual preference. So a lot of MBA students will source their accommodation via their college. So the university and all of the individual colleges will have accommodation options scattered around the city centre, and that is the most popular option with MBA students. They are postgraduate accommodation options, so that means they are a bit nicer than undergraduate options. So most students will find that they have an ensuite bathroom, often that they are in a building sharing with other postgraduates, having shared kitchen space, etc., with other students of a similar profile to them. All of the colleges can also offer family accommodation options. So with the MBA, we often find that students are traveling with their partners, wives, children, sometimes even pets. And so the colleges can provide family accommodation options as well. A number of MBA students will choose to rent private accommodation in Oxford, again, just depending on their individual circumstances. And again, if they're traveling with their families, they find that a better option. Some MBA students will rent private accommodation with some other students who are doing the program. But I would say the split is maybe about 70%, 30%. So about 70% who will access their accommodation via the college. It won't be on the college campus. So they keep that accommodation for undergraduate students at Oxford. So the postgraduate students will be in different buildings that are dotted around the city centre. Oxford is small. as a city. And so all of the accommodation options are within maybe a 10-15 minute walk or bike ride of the business school.
Thank you. Great. なので、アコモデーション、寮のオプションがあるので、で、オックスフォードの場合はアンダーグラデュエートもあるんですけど、ポストグラデュエート、大学院生用の寮があるので、その設備はより良い。そうですね。個別のバスルームとかもついていたりすると、キッチンとか共用の場合もあるみたいなんですけれども、あとはファミリー用の寮もあるということで、お子さんとか、奥様あるいは旦那様を連れてご家族でいらっしゃる方も結構多いということですね。
あと、おっしゃられてたのは、あれですよね、他の学部とか
そうですね。他の大学で、プロファイルが結構似てる人たちと一緒の寮になったりもするみたいなので、それすごくネットワーキングとかもできて良さそうですよね。
So I've heard from one of the alumni of the Oxford MBA programs that it's great environments that they can share lives, so daily lives with other department students in Oxford. So they can share the different perspectives. So not only from the MBA perspective, but also the public policy, law, and the other programs. So that is a very integrated part of the Oxford. That's it. I think that's one of the greatness of the Oxford MBA environment.
Yeah, I completely agree, Toshi. And your college membership really gives you that opportunity. So even through something like going to a dinner, a formal dinner at your college, you will find that you are sitting beside somebody who is doing a PhD in astrophysics and sitting opposite somebody who is studying history. And so the opportunity for those conversations to build a network with people who are studying across lots of different departments is one of the really unique opportunities that you get in pursuing an MBA at Oxford. So if you are somebody who is interested in really broadening your horizons, diversifying your thought, access to a college and your college membership does really give you the opportunity to do that.
いや、これオックスフォードは本当にそこは素晴らしくて、あんまりみんな言ってないかもしれないですけど、他の大学院の人たちと一緒に住めるんですよね、寮とかに。で、あとはその他の大学院の人たちのそのセミナーとかにも一緒に参加できたり。そこの情報共有がすごくあって、要はそのオックスフォードっていうその全体の学校での学びがあるんですよ。Just MBA じゃないですよね。それがすごく良くて、で、多分ね、いろんなレベル感があるんだけど、僕も大体30アラウンドで MBA 行ったから、なんとなくそのビジネスのこと全部ほぼ分かっちゃってて、で、MBA で話しててもみんな同じ発想だし、全然ディフェレントポイントがないんですよね、話してて。面白くない。そんなにエキサイトメントを感じないわけですよ。
なるほど。
でも僕は自分でそういうシカゴ大学の日本人会議があるんだけど、を作ったので、そういうのを実際に作って、それでみんなで、もう本当にいろんな物理やってる人とか、今言ってましたけども、ドクターやってる人とか、PhD やってる人とか、本当いろんなローやってる人とか、官僚の人とか、弁護士やってる人とか、会計やってる人とか、それこそアンダーグラッドの人とか、数学やってますみたいな変態みたいなのとかね、もうみんなで話すと、もう全然違うところからアイディアとか意見が飛んできて、そっちの方がすっごい勉強になったし、実際MBA の後ってそういう人たちと仲良くずっとやってたっていうのはあるんで。
PJ キャリアでもおっしゃってましたよね、お医者さんのすごく印象に残ってる方が。
そういうのが結構そのビジネスを皆さんがリーダーになっていく過程においては結構大事。オックスフォードはやっぱりその部分はすごい、もうオックスフォードアザーホールとして全体感としてのその学びがあるから、やっぱ天下のオックスフォードで学べるっていう、しかもその知識とネットワークが得れるっていうのは、ものすごい魅力ですよね。はい。ちょっとここはぜひリマークしといていただければと思います。
そうですね。はい。ちょっとね、もう一つご質問が来ましたのでお答えしていきます。So there is one more question. what kind of candidates does Oxford look for, and what characteristic or personality traits does Oxford value most when interviewing candidates? Thank you ということですね。
Really good question. So I would say there are a couple of things. The first is that we are looking for candidates to be authentic in their application. So we really want to get a sense of who each individual applicant is and what they will be able to add or bring to the MBA cohort if they are to join us at Said. So most important advice throughout the application process and the interview is to be yourself and see it as an opportunity to showcase how you can bring a unique perspective to the Oxford MBA cohort. I would say the trait that is most common amongst all of our students at Oxford is that they are collaborative. I mentioned at the beginning that we want to put together a cohort where the students can learn as much from the other students in the class as they can from the curriculum, the faculty, the research that they can access at Oxford. So we are looking for students who are going to come to the programme, be open-minded and be willing to learn from the experiences of a very diverse class, and then also willing to share their perspectives, whether that be from their cultural background or whether it be from their professional background in their career to date, and to really create a sense of sharing and community when they are with us on the program.
Thank you. Great question. はい。ということで、これは言った方がいいのかな。一応ちょっと日本語で言いましょうかね。結構わかりやすかったと思うんですけども、2つですかね。Be yourself と、あと、そのユニークなパースペクティブを持ってるってことと、やっぱり自分自身がすごくオーセンティック、なんて言うんでしょうか。なんていうの、リーダーシップを持っている、軸を持っているっていうのと、あとはコホート、その学校にどう貢献できるかとか、どんなバリューをアッドできるかというところはすごく見てらっしゃるっておっしゃってましたね。はい。なので、その集団、オックスフォードのコミュニティに入った時も、すごくオープンマインドで学ぶ姿勢だとか、コラボタティブであるとか、そういうところはものすごく重要視しているとおっしゃってましたね。はい。ということで、クエスチョンは以上ですかね。はい、皆さん素晴らしいご質問ありがとうございます。
はい、本当に日本人が 3%?
そうですね。そこは増やしたいっておっしゃってましたね。
そうだから、すごいチャンスなんで、アドミッションが増やしたいって言ってるときは、なんか増やさないといけないときなんで、
そうですね。
ぜひですね、オックスフォード、しかもそのままイギリスで働けるビザも出てますし、大チャンスですし、オックスフォードのね、やっぱりなんかユニークネスとか Be Yourself って結構本当にそうなんですよね。はい、だから非常にユニークな人が受かってるってのはあるんですけど、逆に言うと結構いや自分でもオックスフォードとか入れるのかなって思う人も結構ユニークな人も含めてですね、結構受からせてるんで、皆さんチャンスありますし、本当増やしたいっておっしゃられてたんで、日本人はもっとダイバーシティをね、オックスフォードで作りたいっておっしゃられてましたから、ビッグチャンスだと思うので、ぜひアルファにご相談いただければと思います。あと最後に一言いただいて終わりましょうか。
そうですね。So, that's all the questions. Could you give me some remarks and comments?
Yes, absolutely. Just to say thank you very much to both you and Toshi, Emmy, for allowing me the opportunity to share some information about the Oxford MBA and about the 1+1 MBA with you all this evening. Would definitely recommend going to the website and looking for some additional information about both programs if you would like to. And our email address is on the screen. So if anybody would like to maybe have their profile reviewed, to send across a copy of their CV and to have our team review it with a view to making an application in the future, we would be really happy for you to do so. So do please connect with us, reach out to us. As I mentioned, we would love to have more applications applications and more students from Japan on the program at Oxford. So would absolutely love to hear from any of you who are considering an application.
Thank you. はい。ということで、皆さんも素晴らしいご質問ありがとうございました。ぜひですね、アルファでも、ちょっと、YouTube の説明欄とコメント欄にも登録のリンクを置いておきましたので、ご興味がある方はそちらにご登録いただければと思いますし、無料相談でいつでもキャリアのご相談とか、あとオックスフォードですね、アドミッションの方にダイレクトにおつなぎしたりもしていますので、ぜひ、本当に素晴らしいキャリアオポチュニティも非常に強固なネットワークがあるっていうのが、私は今日一番衝撃だったんですけれども、はい、すごくいい機会があると思いますので、ぜひ皆さん、今年の出願もまだまだ間に合います。来年から2022年の入学もまだ間に合いますし、じっくり準備をして2023年から入学したいという方ももうたくさん来てますので、ぜひお早めにご相談ください。はい。西野さん、OK ですね。
はい、大丈夫です。
はい。
はい。
So thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Hannah-san.
Pleasure. Thank you both very much. And thank you to
Thank
everybody
you.
who joined and sent questions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
ありがとう